I'm thinking about signing up for that marathon. Woo, you should definitely do it. Girl, I'm telling you, I don't know how much longer I can keep doing this. I don't love James. I haven't loved him in years. I've been saving money privately, moving a little here and there into my own account. I'm in this marriage for what he has, the houses. Is that fair though, Alice? It's not stealing, it's called being smart. I'm just gonna tell him tonight. Are you sure about that? Yes,
I never thought a bottle of water and a pair of rubber slides would be the reason I found out my marriage was a lie. My name is James Frey. I'm 41 years old, and I live on the south side of Chicago with my wife, Alice. We've been married for 6 years. Or at least, I thought we had 6 good years. Turns out I was only living in 6 years of my own imagination. Let me back up a little bit. I own a small chain of auto repair shops. 3 locations, all here in Chicago. It took me almost 15 years to build that business, from one garage on 79th Street to what it is now. I'm not a rich man, not the kind you see on television, but I do all right. Big house in Beverly, 2 cars in the driveway. My daughter, Nia, in a good private school. We take vacations. Nothing fancy, but nothing to be ashamed of either. Alice is 34. She's beautiful, sharp-dressed, always put together. When people see us together, they probably think I got lucky. Maybe I did think that too, for a long time. About 8 months ago, Alice started going to this fitness club on the north side, near Lincoln Park. Nice place. Smoothie bar, personal trainers, the whole thing. She said it made her feel good, gave her something for herself outside the house. I didn't mind. I encouraged it, actually. I wanted her happy. That Tuesday evening, I had a slow day at the shop. My last appointment canceled, so I closed up around 4 instead of 6. I thought, why not surprise my wife? Show up at the gym, maybe catch her finishing her workout, take her out for dinner after. Something simple, something sweet. I drove up there with a little bit of excitement in my chest, like a man in the early days of dating somebody new. I even stopped at the flower shop on Clark Street and grabbed a small bouquet of yellow tulips, her favorite. I remember smiling at myself in the rearview mirror like a fool, thinking about how her face was going to light up. I got to the gym around 5:30. I didn't see her car in the front lot, so I figured maybe she parked in the back, near the smoothie bar entrance. I walked around the side of the building, tulips in hand, and that's when I heard her voice. She was sitting outside, at one of those little metal tables near the side door, with her friend Gloria. Gloria Hanks, 35 years old, works as a nurse at the hospital downtown. Alice and Gloria have been thick as thieves since college. I always liked Gloria. She used to come to our cookouts, played with Nia like she was her own auntie. I was about to walk around the corner and surprise them both. Tulips out, big smile on my face. But something in Alice's tone stopped me cold. It wasn't her regular voice. It was low, tired, almost cruel. I stood behind the brick wall, out of sight, just far enough that they couldn't see me, but close enough to hear every single word. "Girl, I'm telling you," Alice was saying, "I don't know how much longer I can keep doing this." "Doing what?" Gloria asked. "Being married?" "Being married to him," Alice said. "You know I don't love James." "I haven't loved him in years. I stayed because of what he built. The shops, the house, all of it. That's it. That's the whole truth." I felt my knees go weak. I had to put my hand against the brick wall just to keep myself standing straight. The tulips in my other hand suddenly felt like they weighed 100 pounds. Gloria didn't say anything right away. I could hear ice clinking in a cup, like she was stirring her drink slowly, thinking. "Alice," she finally said, That's a cold thing to say about your own husband. It's the truth, though, Alice said. You know it is. I married James because he had something. He was building something. My mama always said, marry a man who's going somewhere, not a man who's already arrived, because you want to be part of the journey, part of the come-up. And that's what I did. I got in early, before the shops multiplied, before the house, before any of it. So none of it was real? Gloria asked. Her voice had an edge to it now, like she wasn't liking what she was hearing. I mean, it was real enough, Alice said. He's a good man. He treats me right. He's never hit me, never cheated as far as I know, never disrespected me in public. But loving him, being in love with him, that's a different story, Gloria. That died a long time ago, probably around year 2. I stood there behind that wall, tulips wilting in my grip, my chest feeling like somebody had reached inside and was slowly squeezing my heart with their bare hand. So what are you saying? Gloria asked. You're just going to stay married to a man you don't love because of his money. I'm saying I've been planning my exit, Alice said. For a while now. My stomach dropped. Planning your exit how? Gloria asked. I've been talking to a lawyer, Alice said, quietly. Nothing official yet, but I know how Illinois splits things. I know what I'm entitled to if I play my cards right. I've been moving a little money here and there into an account he doesn't know about. Not a lot. Enough to get me started when the time comes. Alice, Gloria's voice dropped, and I could hear something in it now. Disbelief mixed with disgust. You've been planning to leave that man and take his money, while he still thinks y'all are happy. It's not stealing, Alice snapped. It's called being smart. Women have been doing this since the beginning of time. You act like I invented something new. I'm not talking about smart, Gloria said. I'm talking about decent. There's a difference. You've been sitting at that man's table, eating his food, sleeping in his bed, planning how to leave him with less than he came in with, and he doesn't even know you don't love him? That's not smart, Alice. That's cold. You don't understand, Alice said. No, I understand plenty, Gloria shot back. I understand you've been lying to that man's face for years, smiling at him, cooking his dinner, going to his family functions, all while planning your exit behind his back. Alice, can you even imagine what that man is going to do if he ever finds out what you just told me? Can you imagine his face? That man loves you. Anybody with eyes can see how that man looks at you. There was a long pause. I could hear a car passing on the street behind me, somebody's music thumping low, and I stood there frozen, waiting for my wife's answer, like my whole future depended on it. Because it did.
He's not going to find out,
Alice finally said. Not until I'm ready for him to. I've got it all planned. I'm going to wait until after the holidays, get through Nia's birthday, keep things smooth. Then early next year, I'll make my move. By the time he realizes what's happening, I'll already be gone, and I'll have what I need to start fresh. And if he does find out early, Gloria asked, what then? Then I'll deal with it, Alice said, and I could hear the shrug in her voice, like she was talking about switching hair salons, not blowing up 6 years of marriage. James isn't the type to do anything crazy. He's not going to make a scene. He'll probably just be sad, maybe angry for a minute, but he'll get over it. Men always do. I couldn't listen to any more of it. I turned around slowly, careful not to make a sound, and walked back to my truck. My hands were shaking so bad, I dropped the tulips twice, trying to open the door. I sat in the driver's seat for a long time, just staring at the steering wheel, not even turning the key. 6 years. 6 years of birthdays and anniversaries and late-night talks about our future. 6 years of me working 60-hour weeks, trying to give her and Nia a good life. 6 years of me thinking I had found my person, the woman who was going to stand beside me until we were old and gray. And this whole time, she was sitting across from me at dinner, smiling, while planning how to take what I built and disappear. I didn't cry, not at first. I think I was too shocked to cry. It was more like a numbness, like somebody had unplugged something inside of me. I drove home that night without her. I texted her something simple, said I got caught up at the shop, wouldn't be able to make it to pick her up, told her to grab a rideshare. She texted back a heart emoji and said no problem, she'd see me at home. A heart emoji, from a woman who just told her best friend she didn't love me. That night, I lay in bed next to her, staring at the ceiling while she slept peacefully beside me, like nothing in the world was wrong. I studied her face in the dark, the woman I thought I knew better than anybody, and I realized I didn't know her at all. I had been sleeping next to a stranger for years. I didn't say anything to her the next morning, or the morning after that. I want to be honest with you. My first instinct was rage. I wanted to pack her things up and throw them out on the front lawn. I wanted to scream at her, ask her how she could look me in the eye every single day and lie like that. But something in me, maybe it was the years I spent building a business from nothing, taught me patience. Taught me that the man who reacts first usually loses. The man who plans wins. So instead of blowing up, I decided to watch. Quietly, carefully. Just like she had been planning her exit behind my back, I started planning mine. The first thing I did was call my cousin Marcus, who works as a paralegal downtown. I didn't tell him everything, just enough. I asked him who was the best family lawyer he knew, somebody sharp, somebody who understood Illinois law inside and out, especially when it came to business assets and prenups. Yeah, we did have a prenup. Alice probably forgot about that part, or maybe she thought she could find a way around it. See, when we got married, my father, God rest his soul, was still alive, and he was the one who insisted on it. He used to say, "James, a man builds something with his two hands. He's got to protect it, even from the people he loves, especially from the people he loves." I remember being embarrassed asking Alice to sign it back then. She cried a little, said it made her feel like I didn't trust her. I apologized to her for weeks after that. Can you imagine? I apologized to the woman who was already planning, even back then maybe, how she was going to walk away with pieces of what I built. Marcus connected me with a lawyer named Diane Coleman, sharp older woman, been practicing family law in Chicago for almost 25 years. I sat in her office 2 weeks after I overheard that conversation and told her everything. She listened without much expression on her face, the kind of woman who's heard every story in the book. "Mr. Frey," she said when I finished, "it's a good thing you have that prenup, and it's a good thing you're being smart about this instead of reactive. A lot of men in your position would have already burned the house down, figuratively speaking. You did the right thing coming to me first." We talked through everything, the accounts Alice had apparently been moving money into. Diane said that could actually work in my favor if it turned out to be marital funds she was hiding, which is something courts don't look kindly on. She told me to start documenting things quietly, bank statements, any strange transactions, anything unusual. Over the next month, I became a different kind of husband. On the outside, nothing changed. I still kissed Alice goodbye in the morning, still asked about her day, still took Nia to her dance recitals, and sat next to Alice in the audience, clapping, smiling for pictures. But on the inside, I was building a case, the same way I used to build engines from spare parts, back when I was young, and broke, and hungry. I found the account. It wasn't hard, actually, once I knew to look. Alice wasn't as careful as she thought she was. There were transfers, small ones at first, then bigger, moving from our joint accounts into something with just her name on it. Almost $11,000 over the past year and a half. I also learned something else during that time. Something that hurt almost as much as the conversation I overheard. Alice had been talking to a lawyer, just like she said. His name was on a business card I found tucked in the lining of her gym bag. A man named Reginald Baptiste, family law attorney, office up in Evanston. I never confronted her about it. I just took a picture of the card with my phone and kept moving. The holidays came and went. Nia's birthday party happened in early December, a big colorful thing with a bounce house in the backyard, even though it was cold, because Nia insisted. Alice smiled the whole day, hugged our friends and family, took pictures with me like we were the perfect couple. I smiled too. I hugged people too. I played my part. But every single day, something in me was calculating, waiting, preparing. Then, one Saturday in late January, almost exactly on the timeline Alice had mentioned to Gloria that day at the gym, I decided it was time. I didn't do it with yelling. I didn't do it with a big dramatic scene like in the movies. I did it calm, the way my father taught me to handle every important thing in life. I asked Alice to sit down with me at the kitchen table on a Saturday morning, while Nia was at her grandmother's house for a sleepover. I made coffee for both of us, and I set a manila folder down on the table between us. "What is this?" Alice asked, looking at the folder, then at my face, probably noticing something different in my expression that she hadn't seen in months. "Open it," I said. Inside were copies of the bank statements showing the transfers, a printed photo of Reginald Baptiste's business card, and a letter Diane had drafted outlining the terms I was prepared to offer for a divorce, terms that heavily favored me, thanks to that prenup my father insisted on all those years ago. Alice's face went through about 5 different emotions in the span of 10 seconds. Confusion, realization, fear, anger, and then something that almost looked like relief, like a part of her was glad the pretending was finally over. "James," she started, "I can explain. You don't have to," I said, keeping my voice steady. Even though my heart was pounding so hard, I thought she could probably hear it across the table. "I heard you, at the gym, almost 5 months ago. You and Gloria, sitting outside by the smoothie bar. I heard everything, Alice, every word." She went pale, actually pale, like all the blood drained straight out of her face. "You've known for 5 months?" she whispered. "I've known for 5 months," I said, "and I used that time wisely. Just like you were using your time to plan your exit, I was using mine to plan how I was going to protect myself and my daughter." She didn't say anything for a long moment. Her eyes were filling up with tears, but I didn't feel the sympathy I probably would have felt 5 months earlier. I had grieved the marriage already, quietly, alone, over countless nights, lying next to a woman I no longer recognized. "Gloria told me this would happen," Alice finally said, her voice cracking. "She told me I was playing with fire." "Gloria was right," I said. "She asked you that day if you could imagine what I would do if I found out. Well, now you know. I didn't scream. I didn't break anything. I just protected what I built, the same way my father taught me to." We finalized things over the following months. It wasn't easy, and it wasn't painless, especially where Nia was concerned. But because of that prenup, and because of the documentation Diane helped me gather, Alice walked away with far less than she had been hoping for. The house stayed in my name. The business, obviously, stayed mine. She got a modest settlement, enough to get started somewhere new, but nowhere near what she thought she'd earned through 6 years of quiet performance. Gloria and I actually stayed friendly after everything settled. She reached out to me a few weeks after the divorce was finalized, said she felt guilty for not warning me sooner, but that it wasn't her place to break a confidence like that, even one she clearly disagreed with. I told her I understood, and honestly, I did. She had tried to talk sense into Alice that day at the gym. She just didn't know I was standing there listening the whole time. These days, Nia lives with me most of the time, and Alice sees her on weekends. I've started dating a little bit, slowly, carefully, nothing serious yet. My oldest shop on 79th Street just had its best year ever, and I'm looking at opening a fourth location this summer. Sometimes I think back to that Tuesday evening, the tulips wilting in my hand behind that brick wall, and I think about how close I came to walking around that corner with a big dumb smile on my face, completely unaware. If I had come 5 minutes later, or 5 minutes earlier, I might still be living inside that lie today, still building a life for a woman who was already planning to leave with pieces of everything I worked for. But I heard it, every word, and I'm grateful I did, because it gave me something Alice never expected me to have. Time. Time to protect myself. Time to protect my daughter. Time to walk away from that marriage with my dignity and everything I built still intact. People ask me sometimes if I regret marrying Alice at all, given everything that happened. And honestly, I don't. Because without those 6 years, I wouldn't have Nia, and she is worth more to me than any amount of money or any business I could ever build. But I'll tell you this much. I'll never again mistake somebody smiling at my dinner table for somebody who actually loves me. Actions tell the truth. Words are just noise if they don't match what a person does when they think nobody's listening. And that's exactly how I found out the truth about my marriage. Not through a confession, not through a fight, but through a conversation I was never supposed to hear, outside a gym, on an ordinary Tuesday evening in Chicago.